How a Romance Novel Saved the Galaxy by Ariana Durante. Chapter 13. Jaster 2, Galadran 1. They were totally coming to Galadran! Called one of the Vodes excitedly out of the mess hall. Just aside, the Mandalorian stacking of the Jedi was really getting a bit too efficient if they were intercepting their mission orders before they happened now. He was honestly surprised there hadn't been a diplomatic incident yet. Though, then again, the weird fan club forming around that crazy flying Jedi on the Outer Rim was an explosion waiting to happen. Report to my office with your intel, Vode, called Jaster over the resulting chatter. The Vode, Silas, looked a bit chagrined at shouting the intel to everyone. Jaster took one last bite of his rations before heading out, Jango silently at his heels. He read over the data in silence, Jango reading over his shoulder. The good news was that the Vode weren't hacking the Jedi's mission orders. Instead, these were communications between the governor of Galadran and the Republic, which Jaster had set the Verde to monitoring as a precaution. The governor, who had paid the true Mandalorians to come here and put down their insurgents, had inexplicably sent an urgent request to the Republic Senate 2 days ago requesting help with the true Mandalorians, who were described as the worst demagoga. The Senate response said they were ordering the Jedi here to deal with the true Mandalorians. Thankfully, there was also a polite inquiry from a Jedi Master Dooku, which asked in a very roundabout way if the governor were sure it was true Mandalorians rather than Death Watch, and that the Jedi would investigate further once they arrived. Today, it seemed the diplomatic incident he was dreading had arrived. Why didn't we get this sooner? He demanded. Jango growled a wordless agreement. Sorry, O Lord! It took a while for us to break their encryption. The governor betraying us was probably a bit more important than the Jedi coming, suggested Jaster with a bit of bite to his voice. He had a feeling Silas was bright red under his bouche. The young Vode was in for a massive chewing out once they had more time. The governor is dead, snarled Jango. I agree, said Jaster. But if we kill him on the same day the Jedi arrive, it will only confirm the governor's lies, Janika. We'll let the Jedi investigate and we'll evacuate any non-essential personnel. He raised his voice. That includes anyone who just wants to stay to meet the Jedi. He heard a few muttered curses from the Verde standing guard outside. Jango, get them moving. They'd been planning on departing Galadran the next day at the latest anyway, and send Erta into the governor's mansion, though tell her to be careful. She was their best infiltration expert with a mastery in slicing on the side. Elitba. Once Jango left, Silas tapped another message open on the pad. This also came in for you, Alor. It was a communication from Holdan La, one of the true Mandalorians, about a Jedi and a Jedi ad. Jaster read it in silence. His anger at the governor seemed like a candle compared to this Jedi Shabor and the inexplicably poor treatment of a Jedi ad. It seems that even if the governor's betrayal hadn't happened, Jaster would have been starting a diplomatic incident with the Jedi anyway! There was a silver lining, though. Vandermeer was only a sector away from Mandalore. Get me a direct line to Kildabe, he ordered. Hopefully they'd be on time for the Jedi ad. I can't, said Hiam. Can't or won't? Asked Nared. They needed this information if they were going to save Kiri. If I do this, it will break their mind, and it will break me. As always, and despite the seriousness of the situation, Nared got a little thrilled to see the passion shining behind the Jedi facade. Kiri and I will fix you, assured Nared. As a Mandalorian, he knew that sometimes you had to make these sorts of choices. Hiam shook his head. It would make me a Darjeti. His storm-cloud eyes were filled with despair. The Sith don't care about Ade, Shade. They don't care about those they leave behind who love them. Well, Osik. All right, then what do we do? Hiam was silent for a long moment before looking up. I have an idea.